Oh, guys, I can't believe I have to tell you, but even though I am go by the name TheLankySoldier, I've been getting a lot of comments. I'm talking a lot of comments for the last 2-3 years. Are you even lanky? Lanky? So I got older. It's been 10 years since I decided to name myself as TheLankySoldier. These days I'm more like a chubby soldier. So the chubby soldier. Okay, I'm not that fat. Okay, listen, guys, I just gone older. Okay, I just gone older. That's all it is. Okay, I'm still lanky, but just a bit chubby, but not chubby. Listen, I can play football. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fit. I can run. I'm just older. That's all. Okay, chill. All right, all right. Sure, a little bit bigger. Sure, but dudes, I can run. It's fine. I can run. Anyway, this is a Battlefield related podcast. Anyway, welcome. As you can tell by the intro, it's going to be a very casual one today because there's stuff to talk about, but I have no idea how long I'm going to talk about each topic. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just put everything on the notes and just go one by one and see how it goes. And I have no idea what's the title of this episode going to be because let's just roll with it. Okay. So welcome to Battlefield 1 podcast. My name is Thomas, known as the Lanky Soldier. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about Battlefield.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again, and
That was something, right?
that was something.
I'm sorry, you canceled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to like QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed."
Oh, I would love
It
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to
Yeah,
see
again.
that. Of course, if you're a regular here, as usual, I have to do this bit. Thank you guys so much for joining for another episode of Battlefield 1 podcast, for another an hour entertainment on a weekly basis. Thank you guys for joining for another episode. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. Sometimes I have guests, but this time around I host by myself because people are busy, so I'm not gonna force them to come. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for listening to my ramblings. You know, all the conversations on Battlefield. Thank you guys for listening to all that. And of course, I have to thank our Patreon supporters. Without our Patreon supporters, this show would not exist. Simple as that. Thank you for everything, guys. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for, joining Patreon and getting all the, you get all the content, early access, extra episodes, all that kind of stuff. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. That's Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Where you get, like I said, early access, extra episodes, live streams, all that kind of stuff. Join our Discord, even as a free member, support us, it helps us out. So thank you guys for everything. Like I said, this show would not exist without your support. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed last week episode was released on Monday. And from what I've seen, how the data is doing, all that kind of stuff, I can tell people were kind of caught off guard, or like, oh, because they were expecting an episode on Tuesday. I think it's becoming a regular thing now. So let's do episodes on Mondays now, because it kind of makes sense for you guys, for the hardcore people. So if there's an update or something happening on Tuesday, you basically have 24 hours before the update drops, whatever that update is, and you can, if you're a really hardcore player and listen to my thoughts or anyone else's thought that is on the podcast about the upcoming update, you have 24 hours. And if for the people that never really cared and just want to listen to me ramble about Battlefield, well, you get one episode early, for you, so everyone wins basically. So I think we're gonna stick with Monday episodes for a while. So of course it's kind of shitty for the Patreon supporters because they lose one day of early access. But you know what? I'm realizing after, like, people pay for the early access, but they don't really use the early access. They still listen like whenever, because it just kind of became like a regular thing for them to listen on Patreon instead of like, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever. Sure, you lose one day of early access, but it is kind of a bad experience, like a better listening experience now, because it's on Mondays. Because, hey, you have, like I said, if you're really hardcore, for you, it doesn't really matter if it's like you lose one day early access, because you're gonna get it early access anyways. Like, So for you, it doesn't matter because you win and you're gonna hear the thoughts before the update drops anyway, and you just enjoy the show and you support us and all that kind of stuff. It's just $2. Yeah. If you're on Patreon supporting us for $2, for you it's just like wow, $2 is $2. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I think it's a bad decision for everyone that we release the episodes on Monday because it just makes sense for the big updates that are about to drop on Tuesday. So let's stick with that. See how it goes. Let's give it a month or two. See if it's any better, but so far from what I've seen, people go like, oh, it's on Mondays now. I see in the stats, people got caught off guard, but it's just time to get used to. That's all it is. It will just take time to get used to. So that's that. So we'll stick with Monday episodes for now, just to see how it goes. If the Battlefield Studios change their update dates, days or whatever, sure, we'll change it back to something that makes more sense. But at the moment, we'll stick with Monday episodes. Also, I don't know if you noticed, even though I don't want to talk about this too much, but the artwork on the podcast changed a little bit. It's because I was doing some changes in the background. I was like doing, even though what I'm talking about is more for Patreon episodes, but I'm just gonna like give you a small glimpse of what's happening behind the scenes. Just if you want this kind of discussions on Patreon, just go to Patreon. What the fuck is like a Patreon? Anyway, it's really hot right now, so yeah. Anyway, so the artwork a little bit changed on the Battlefield 1 podcast site. So when I say site, like I'm talking about Spotify, YouTube channel, Apple Podcast, wherever the case may be, right? The artwork changed a little bit, and it's because I was just looking at the stats, seeing how to approach everything, what's changed, what the peaks we had, what the lows we had. And was the artwork any change? Because we changed the artwork as the new year started. So we released 25 plus episodes since the new year, which is a lot actually. And we've been doing this on a weekly basis. And I was like checking what was happening, all that kind of stuff. So I know you guys don't really care about that kind of stuff, but hey, it's a really casual episode today, so I might as well mention it quickly. But yeah, like I decided to change the artwork a little bit because I removed for example, the other channels we had on Spotify and Apple Podcast, which were the Clips channel and the Interview channel. So the Clips channel was self-explanatory. It was just clips from the podcast to promote the podcast to other audience that don't want to listen to the whole episode, but they just want to listen to some clips, and maybe we can transfer them to the full episode when they're like really interested. Like, okay, they listen to a couple of episodes, like small clips, and they can go smack my mortar. They can listen to a couple of small clips and just go to the main show, all that kind of stuff. But after checking the data and all that kind of stuff, I realized it's not really doing us any better. Yes, we got some people that transferred, but it was such a small number. And I was wasting so much time doing these clips and everything because this is basically a one-man show at this point. I'm doing everything by myself. I don't really have any help. So I was like, the clip channel was not worth the effort. So after like 6-month experiment, basically, I realized, let's just remove it because this is just a waste of time. It's not really promoting anything. Yeah, we got 1 or 2 people that transferred, but again, by our scale, couple of people transferring from that to the main show, but in my scale, how many viewers and listeners we have, it's such a minuscule thing. I'm like, it's not worth the effort, and I'm like, I'll rather focus on something else. And I realized that I kind of need to put everything back in focus because I'm doing this again. The Lanky's doing his thing again. As soon as he starts to do something, it starts to like expand to different areas, just because that's what bigger channels do, that's what bigger content creators do. They expand to other horizons to promote their brand and all that kind of stuff, which is great on my end, like which supposed to be like that, but at the end of the day, I'm just still one person, can't really handle everything. So I kind of need to bring the focus back, to us, to the podcast, instead of me wasting stuff that is barely bringing any benefit to us in the long term. So I'm like, okay, I'll remove the clips channel and the Into channel because, granted, we haven't. It's why we didn't had any guests that often the last 7-8 months. It's mostly minus Andre or Ray or whatever. That's like I don't consider them guests. But the reason I just thought Okay, that's on me, kind of. So that's on me. I was like working in the background and everything just to make sure the podcast is in a good condition before I started inviting people. But that's on me. So that's on me. So I kind of need to like. Also, some people I did contact some people. Hey, you want to come on the show? Some people have really weird requests for them to join the show. So, for example, they want to do it in person. I'm like, what do you want to do in person? Like, sure. Listen, I don't mind doing it in person. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, why do we want to do this in person? And also, I'm not going to a different country to do an episode show to do this in person because I'm like, eh? So there's some real requests I got from certain people asked to join, on the show. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, man. And there's some people that I did ask, hey, you guys want to come over and all that kind of stuff. Somehow they just disappeared from the face of the earth. They just disappeared. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that was a waste of time. So anyway, so there's stuff happening in the background, but I'm, like I said, like many episodes ago, I'm not gonna bring anyone on the show just because, just because. Anyway, I'm going off tangent here. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to bring the focus back. I'm kind of downscaling a little bit, so I can focus on the show fully. And that's why the artwork, for example, got changed a little bit, because I need to make the artwork to be easily done, like at any point. Like, as soon as the episode is recorded, I'll do the thumbnail really quick. It just takes me like 5-10 minutes. There's a system behind it, and like there's a layouts and everything, just like. And as I'm looking at it right now, yeah, it looks so much better now. It just looks much better, It's not like, I don't know. It doesn't need to have a text, It doesn't need like. After I'm checking, like I thought like having a some sort of tagline in the thumbnail will bring more views. No, not really. Just made everything more messy. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's bring it down. Let's bring it back as it was. Like, just have a picture, have a logo, and that's all we need. Just boom, 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 done. Thumbnail is done, and everyone knows what we're talking about. Easy, and it looks nicer on audio platforms like Spotify or whatever, and looks nice on YouTube. So that's that. Anyway, I will leave this for the Patreon because it's not important, but anyway, there were some changes happening, but I'm just saying, like, I need to bring the focus back. That's what it is. Okay, and before we even... Oh my god, I've been talking for 10 minutes, but that's what you get with Battlefield 1 podcast sometimes, because when there's... Okay, there's topics, but sometimes I just want to relax and talk about stuff, just with no pressure. I'm so sorry if you're here just for literally for Battlefield news, but sometimes I just need to say that. But anyway, last announcement, I promise. In August, so a month and 10 days, something like that, a month and a half, let's say, I'll be doing something away from my computer. So that means there will be some pre-recorded episodes, like 2-3 episodes, I think. I don't know how many. I don't know if it's going to be 2 or 3. Regardless, there are going to be some pre-recorded episodes because, hey, we're still going to be continuing with the weekly schedule. We're not going to lose, momentum, all that kind of stuff. We're still going to be releasing episodes. So that's that. So that's, okay. So I'll be gone. So there will be pre-recorded episodes. Because we're going to have pre-recorded episodes, I decided, you know what? One of the episodes, let's do a Q&A. Guys, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, any questions that you want to ask, if it's Battlefield related or something personal related, ask away. And how you can do that is basically go to the description. There's a Q&A folder, a Google Doc, Google Sheets doc, and all you have to do is click on that link and write a question and just name yourself, like, oh, what do you think about this? Oh, do you guys thinking about that? And you can ask anyone. You can ask me, you can ask Andre, you can ask Ray. If they're not available to record with me, I will make sure that they will reply to the question. I will read the answer to you. So, if you have any questions, whatever those questions are, whatever thoughts you have, use that Q&A page in the description, wherever you're listening, whether you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Open the description of this episode, and just click on that link on the Google Sheets document, and just write your question, thought, and so on. Simple as that. You have it until the 1st of August to write that question. And you can write as many questions as you want. It's fine. As many as you want. I don't care if you write 10 questions, 15 questions. Of course, if we're gonna get like gazillion questions, like this one time we did a Q&A, we got like, I don't know, like over 100 questions. over 100, thoughts and everything. I'm like, we couldn't cover everything. That was like episode 16, I think, or something like that. That's when they announced Battlefield 2042 was like ending support. I'm like, okay, so let's do a Q&A. And we got like, what you guys want to see for the next Battlefield? And we got like so many questions. I'm like, ooh, that was hard thing to cover. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, you have anything you want to ask, anything, personal, Battlefield related, podcast related, something, I don't know, just normal life question, whatever the case may be, you want to ask me, you want to ask Andre, you want to ask Ray, you want to ask, someone else from our group that you know of that feature on the podcast, like, just ask away, maybe you want to ask our former guest that boy here. I'll message them. Hey, someone asked you about this. Can you answer? Like, I'm not promising they're gonna answer, but hey, just ask away. If you have anything, let us know. So, until the 1st of August, you can ask as many questions as you want, and I'm gonna remind this Q&A every episode until the 1st of August, so people know, because we get new listeners. So ask any question you want in the description. That's it. That's simple as that. 1st of August, that's your deadline. So ask any questions, ask anyone, and we'll answer. Okay. Alright, so 15 minutes, 16 minutes later, let's talk about fucking Battlefield. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm swearing. I forgot that. Old man screams like loud, of course, yeah. Anyway, so let's go with the first Battlefield topic. Okay, a short one. So, EA launched a new EA advertising team that will add ads to their games starting in sports titles. So basically, EA made a new team at a company that focuses on advertising and putting ads in their games without affecting the gameplay or affecting the game in some shape or form that will be disruptive. So EA made that team. They will start working with sports titles first because that makes more sense because, hey, they have, American football. Then they have, EAFC, so which is the normal European football or whatever you want to call it, soccer, all right? So you have your football, you have your soccer, so I don't know what else they have. I think they have, they have the F1 game and all that kind of stuff. So all the sports games they have, this team will work on making sure that how they can add ads into their games without disrupting the game. Now, on a grand scale of things, of course, people lost their shit for obvious reasons. I don't want more ads in my full paid games, right? I don't want to pay $70 and being blasted by ads non-fucking stop. I get that. I fully get that. I fully understand that and so on. But the reason this team was created in the first place is just if the ads make sense in the game, like a sports game, like, the banners and all that kind of stuff, or like sponsors somewhere on that, that's a bit different. Now, of course, that's all obviously is gonna go to other games. Like, they're gonna start with sports games and then they're gonna progress to other games, like, let's say Battlefield, right? So people is like, oh no, Battlefield is gonna get more ads in their games. You also have to remember, having ads in a Battlefield game is not an unusual thing. It's happened before. It happened in Battlefield 2. For people that don't know, in Battlefield 2, a game that came out in 2005, so that was what? 20 years later? 20 years ago? 20 years ago, we had a game called Battlefield 2, and we had some Intel CPU ads in the game. So there was like a banner it was a map, and it was like that advertising banner, and there it was like, hey, it was promoting the new Intel CPU, and it was a real ad from Intel that Intel paid them to include in the game. And in the context of that, it's a real life in quotations, real life location, right? And there's a banner advertising board that says, hey, buy the new CPU. You know what? It's fine because it did not interrupt it with your gameplay. It makes sense for the board to be there because that's a board. But now I'm afraid that they might push a bit too hard sometimes because, hey, let's say it's a war-torn location, right? Well, we're gonna start putting as many advertising boards as possible, destroyed, boards just to promote something just for the ad to be there. I hope that's not gonna be the case. Like, imagine you're a 3D artist, right? You were working on this map, right, to make it pretty and all that kind of stuff, and then the management comes in, right? Jeff, we need you to put 10 ads of this around the map. But sir, it's a trench warfare type of map. I don't care, Jeff. You have to put in the fucking map because companies pay for this ad, so you have to put in the map. So now you're thinking, okay, how the fuck I include a fucking ad in trench warfare type of map? You know, that's gonna, you know, that kind of problem. So I can see problems like that. But as long as it's done classy and not over the top, I think it's fine. You know what? A bit of extra revenue, sure. Why? You know what? It's fine. I think it's just a natural evolution of how advertising works in our world, right? And not only happened in Battlefield 2, 2042, the last Battlefield game before Battlefield 6 that no one likes, obviously. They had Logitech ads in those screens, like ad screens and everything, right? In certain maps. So it's not like it's a brand new thing for them either. So it's the current team experienced that. So yeah, I can see that working. But again, if they push it too hard, it gets really obnoxious. Yeah, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I get that. But as long as they do it classy and reasonably, I see no problem with that. But that's my personal opinion. But that's all I have to say. I have nothing else to say about this topic. It's just like, yeah, naturally they created this team for that, but I don't know what else. I don't know what else they can do, honestly. Well, yeah, make a game and sell a game, and you know, and have a full game. But anyway, it's a different topic entirely. But yeah, that's the thing that's happening. Again, as long as it's classy, that's all I care about. All right, next topic. Okay, so quick, not really announcement. So, Portal added more stuff to their tools. And you basically can make night maps in the game. Great. So, of course, someone went on Portal, used the tools they have at their disposal, and the dude, I'm so sorry that I haven't Googled who's the dude that made, or dude, the girl, whoever. I don't know who made the maps, but someone made night maps in Portal, and Battlefield Studios said, okay, this is very nice, this is cool. And they did what they did with the winter maps. Someone made the maps into winter maps, and basically that became a playlist with full XP, all that kind of stuff, which is great. I love when Battlefield Studios verify certain creations, and people can go on those creations and play with full XP with no problems. That's amazing. So that's what they did with these night maps. Someone made night maps. They look really nice. Like, sure, it's not perfect, but they look really nice. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad Battlefield Studios is doing that kind of stuff and so on. I don't know if the playlist is in the main playlist menu. It's like, okay, I don't think there's a playlist right now. I know you can, if you find it in Portal's, search server browser, you can join one of those servers and just play normally. Problem is, because it's a Portal server, it's kind of hard to fill it up with players, and that's the problem. So, and some people say hey, there should be a playlist in the main menu. I fully agree. When you do stuff like that, when you give full XP to certain experiences in Portal, I fully agree that should be a playlist that people can just launch the game, see the playlist, and see, oh, night maps, and just play on night maps. So people someone that created someone created those maps, and you get your full XP and all that kind of stuff, and you get your night map experience. Great, and it doesn't look bad either. So, it looks kind of cool and it looks kind of good, and I'm kind of more interested to play that than winter maps, for example. Because it's a different experience, It's like it's an art form, right? Oh, it's like you see traces and everything flying. It's like it kind of gives you a different emotion. But because it's not a playlist, it's just kind of hard to fill up the server. And there's a bigger conversation here about Portal in general, but which I've been planning to make a Portal episode for a while. But Portal itself is a fantastic tool. Portal is such a fantastic tool that I think people underappreciate how amazing that we have this in a Battlefield game, let alone about Battlefield whole franchise. Because we have this and we can make anything we want basically, and they're still adding more tools into Portal to make something amazing. Guys, you have to understand, this is fucking amazing. Portal existence should not exist on paper, but I'm glad it does because it just creates that extra layer of like something amazing. Now my problem is, if it's a verified server, which certain experiences should be verified servers and there should be a playlist, you know, maybe rotate them every week or something like that. Like, do it on a weekly basis. That's one thing. You have to do this on a weekly basis. All right, right now we have night maps. Now we have gunfight. Oh, now we have something else. You know, that kind of stuff, right? It has to be on a weekly basis, a community spotlight on a weekly basis. You know, and it's fine if certain experiences come back and or repeat. It's fine. Just have something there in the playlist to go in every fucking week. That's the thing. And when it's a verified server, it should be 60 hertz. It's right when you play a Portal server, it's 30 hertz, and it's like, not great. That's not great. Should be 60 hertz. When it's a verified server, should be 60 hertz. Simple as that. But it's still Portal thing. It's 30 hertz and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's a technical limitation or just whatever, or just people or Battlefield studios just don't want to pay for me, you know, for better servers, you know, for because it's Portal. I don't know. It has to be 60 hertz. It has to be the same experience as the multiplayer. That's the thing. So, because I think it kind of drags down Portal just because of that. So yeah, there's a whole conversation about Portal entirely, but I'm glad Portal exists. I'm glad it's there for us to use and explore and create something. It's like, I'm glad people are creative with the tools they have. They made some funny stuff and some amazing stuff. I love it. Just let the community shine with its creativity, and that's the most important thing. Portal should not be existing on paper, but I'm glad it does. So Portal is an amazing thing, and people have to a little bit appreciate that this thing we have this. Because imagine the next Battlefield game doesn't have Portal. It would be very, very disappointing if it doesn't. Because Portal is such an amazing thing. Sure, has problems. Of course it does. But hey, you can improve it as time goes on, you know, and which they're improving as time goes on. And with the server browser coming soon for Battlefield 6, I want to believe there's going to be some sort of revival for Portal-like experiences. I want to believe. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But Portal is amazing. That's all I'm trying to say. And those night maps look amazing. I haven't played them yet because I haven't played Battlefield for the last 3 days. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I will definitely check them out when I have the chance. So that's that. Okay, next topic. Okay, so Battlefield Studios dropped a new community update, and it's called Battlefield 6 Community Update. What's coming in the final phase of Season 3? So there's bullet points, of course, which basically says gameplay improvements, gunplay changes, vehicle updates, front-end improvements. There's new content like tactical observation, wet work event, and there's, of course, RedSec stuff, Battle Royale solos, and Rag Battle Royale, all that kind of stuff. And, of course, there's Portal and more to come. So that was the bullet points. So I'm just going to go quickly through it, and basically, hey, they talk about the gunplay changes. I am low-key curious what they're going to do with the gunplay changes, and what they're talking about is basically, they're very broad about this. They're very vague about it and what they're gonna do. But basically, they're saying we're making broadest set of gunplay improvements with the next content update focused on making infantry combat feel more consistent, readable, and rewarding to master. These updates enhance several key areas of gunplay, including recoil behavior, dispersion, weapon handling, limb modifier tuning, bullet velocity, drag, and more. The goal is to further reward good aim, recoil control, shooting technique, and weapon knowledge. So far, so good. I did not mind the recoil changes they did with Season 3, because I just think this was just changed internally for the developers to work with the guns. I don't think this was changed for the general public. Anyway, listen to that episode. I think everything they're saying right now they finally have the system in the back end for them to work with. Now they can start improving the gunplay as they please, which I'm glad. I don't mind the gunplay in Battlefield 6 that much. I think it's not, again, it's not perfect, but I think it's acceptable state. Now, certain, like, people will say, oh, this is the worst thing ever. I don't know, guys. Do you really want to go to 2042 laser beam shit, or the movement penalty? Actually, you know what? It's a broad topic entirely, so I'm not gonna even go there. But gunplay changes, like, just to make reward good aim, recoil control, and shooting technique and weapon knowledge, reward all that for the player. That's great. I mean, listen. The way they talk about it here is very vaguely. It's like it could be anything, right? But if you improve the gunplay with the netcode and all that kind of stuff to make it more responsive, more easily, readable, and you understand how recoil works, and you can master it to make those shots that usually don't, a casual player will not make. Like, if you take the time to master all this, that's great. I have no problem with that. And then they talk about soldier visibility, netcode updates. Well, like, again, that's great. They say they're gonna talk about it later. Great. I have no problem with that. But they're very vague about it. I'm like, okay, cool. More weapon changes that should be on paper, should be improvements. Should be. Will it be improvement? We will see. But I'm glad. There's, of course, vehicle updates, thermal smoke, all that kind of stuff. They changed some RPG behavior, for example. AA station was given, and I'm not gonna read that. Front end improvements. They're adding like a mark all scene. So there are orange dots everywhere around the fucking menu and all that kind of stuff. So they're gonna be adding a button on certain screens to remove the orange dots, like mark all scene, all that kind of stuff. Just remove. A good quality life of stuff, right? Like, you need this. Everyone needs. I personally never really cared about the red, the orange dots everywhere. I really did not care. Now, I agree they were kind of annoying once in a while, but because we're gonna get it now, mark all scene button on the bottom right of the screen, and every orange dot is just gonna disappear just by you clicking it. Perfect. I have no problem with that. So it's going to be in the loaded section, it's going to be in the Battle Pass section, it's going to be in the store section, it's going to be in the profile section. I don't even know what they have in the profile section. Oh, the banners and unlocks and all that kind of stuff. Okay, maybe that. Challenges and play, sure. So basically in every possible screen. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, orange dots being removed, because you can remove them manually now. Cool. This one, though, we're introducing a new event menu alongside new event wet work, which we dig into more later in section. This new menu will bring event challenges and rewards together in one place, making it easier to see what's available, what you can earn, and how to unlock it. The menu will also connect players' relevant event modes and event store bundles. The goal is simple: fewer clicks, clearer rewards, and a better overview of each active event. Which is what they basically telling to me is like. So I know there was an article from Eurogamer saying, "Oh, this is like thing from Call of Duty Ghosts that happened because they had it was like a similar thing." The way I see it right now, the way I understand, I think is the reason this new event tab is being added to the game is because they're gonna have multiple events at once, and at the moment they currently have that. And there's also the challenges, all that kind of stuff. Some people do the challenges. There's a lot of clicking and a lot of micromanaging that you need to see what you need to do to unlock certain stuff, which I agree can get a little bit messy. But if you put everything into one tab and everything's much easier to understand and much clearer to read, yeah, I have no problem with that. But yeah, it sounds like I think they want to add multiple events at the same time, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Like, hey, double XP event. Woohoo! Just put it there. Like, makes sense, right? But with double XP event, that's happening, like, I don't know, mini Battle Pass. And all RedSec has another event of some sort of, it's like 3 events happening at the same time. And you can check each of them, how to, engage with that event. I think it just makes sense. I think they're just cleaning up the menu and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. XP boost the quality of life update. So when I saw the tagline for this, I'm like thinking, oh, is this what they're gonna do? What I'm saying, what I said last episode. We're also improving how XP boosters interact with match bonus XP. Previously, if an XP booster expired before the end of the match, it could miss out on applying to the match bonus awarded at the end of the match. Okay, I was not sure about that, if that's the thing, because I did notice that I was not awarded the XP stuff, extra XP, just because my XP expired in mid-game. My XP token expired mid-game. I don't think I got the XP token thing for that. With this update, so that was my observation. I don't think I did. And now they confirm basically, yeah, you didn't get the XP. Like, okay, that's kind of unfortunate. With this update, XP boosters will provide a partial XP multiplier to match bonus based on the amount of time they were active during the match, even if the boost expires before the match ends. Okay, so the booster still be counting in the menu, which is unfortunate, but I think they're gonna remove that thing Season 4. That's my personal prediction. We'll see if that's true. Season 4, Season 5, whatever. I'm pretty sure they're gonna remove the XP counting in the menu thing sooner or later. I think that's happening, in my opinion. Like, we'll see if I'm gonna be right, but hey, it's not happening with this update. That's gonna happen in 9 days, as I'm recording this 9 days before. I don't think it's gonna happen on that day, like as they clearly say here, but I think it will happen Season 4. Anyway, but this basically fixes, hey, all the XP that you probably lost with the XP token expiring in the middle of the match, you're gonna get that XP as you were supposed to. Now, I do wonder if retroactively they might add the missing XP from the 6 months, 7 months we use the XP. So at one point, like, imagine it would be funny if you log into the game, like, I don't know, like when this update drops, and they retroactively added the missing XP that you earned during that time by using double XP token, and that expired in the middle game and you lost the XP. I wonder if you could just log into the game and you suddenly get, like, I don't know, 30, 40 levels because of the missing XP, because they applied retroactively because of this update. That would be so fucking funny. It's like, oh, I'm 150 level. Oh, fuck, I'm 200 now. Like, of course, level means nothing. Or weapon progression. Oh my god, imagine weapon progression retroactively being added to the weapon progression. Imagine, like, you use double XP token at one point to level up a weapon. Your XP token expired and you didn't get the XP. And now because of this update, you're gonna get, like, I don't know, 10 levels or 15 levels. How long you been using the gun, right? With the double XP token, and you never got the XP. Like, imagine you get like 10 levels since, like, when you log into the game, it's like, oh, my level was 25, now it's 35 or 40 or whatever. Imagine that happening. I don't think that's gonna happen, but god, I would enjoy that so much. Ooh, I would really enjoy that. Like, oh, suddenly, like, oh, I don't have to level up the weapon anymore because I'm already max level with this weapon. Great. And that's not happening, but I would love that to happen so fucking much. Anyway, so that's double XP thing. New content, tactical operation. So I remember I was talking on Discord with Monkey, I think. Join our Discord. It's in the description, guys. Join our Discord. Come on, be part of the community. Me and Monkey were talking about on Discord. I think we were in a call or something like that. And I remember I was bitching to him like, oh yeah, both of us love Obliteration. Obliteration is such a good mode, and it works so well in Battlefield 6, minus the 2 bombs on Goldman Railway, which I learned. I know, actually, no, 2 bombs spawn on each map, unfortunately. Anyway, so Obliteration is a really fun mode. I love the Obliteration, and I think it's a success for Battlefield 6. I loved it in Battlefield 4, I love it in Battlefield 6. So me and him, we just enjoy Obliteration. So far, we were joking. I don't think we're even joking. I think we have a 100% win rate in Obliteration. So far, we haven't lost Obliteration game. When we play together, we never lost Obliteration game. We never lost one. And we played so much. You can check on Patreon. We live streamed Obliteration for a little bit, and we had a 100% win rate in Obliteration. So you can check the WOD on Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. So anyway, we played and we had fun. Operation's fun. And they're adding tactical operation. And I was bitching to him on Discord, literally was in the call, that they showed B footage, B-roll of tactical operation when Season 3 dropped. So they were showing how the game mode works. I think it was like content creators got B-roll of the map in the game mode before it came out, like a month before. And I was watching, and they were playing on Cairo Bazaar, Tactical Operation. It was 8 on 8. And they had a fucking LEV on each side. I'm like, guys, I don't think that's what you mean by Tactical Operation. Just because you reduce the player numbers, to be, 8 on 8, and then you have a LEV on each side, I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. What's the point of Tactical Operation? Just add normal operation at this point. Well, reading this, they say it's just, well, what did they mention here? Like, here we go. In this mode, teams need to destroy enemies 3 MCOMs. Okay, so you need to destroy 2 out of 3 MCOMs to win the game. With shorter match timing, no vehicles, and focused layouts that give squads more room to cut off bomb carrier, set traps around objectives, regroup, and support teammates between pushes. So they're basically saying, okay, the vehicle was a mistake. It's not coming into B-roll was B-roll, but someone realized, like, okay, we can't have a vehicle in Tactical Operation. I'm so glad. Perfect. I don't think we need a vehicle in Tactical Operation. Listen, I love me vehicles, but there's a difference between operation and Tactical Operation or small operation, right? We don't need vehicles in Tactical Operation. So I'm glad vehicles are removed. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm glad. It's gonna be available on Cairo Bazaar, Iberian Offensive, Empire State, and Siege of Cairo. So those are the maps you can play Tactical Operation. And I have a feeling, well, they haven't said it's gonna be 8 on 8, but in the B-roll it was 8 on 8. I wonder if this can be 5 on 5. I hope. Also, I do predict that this mode will be one of the future modes for competitive Battlefield multiplayer. So ranked multiplayer. I don't think they're gonna have one mode for Battlefield multiplayer ranked. I don't think they're gonna have one mode. I think they're gonna have like 3 or 4 modes, and Tactical Operation is gonna be one of them. I'm thinking that's how this is gonna work. Could be wrong, but that's how I think. So Tactical Operation, 5 on 5 operation can be really fun because it was really amazing in Battlefield 4. It's just we couldn't fill a server because server browser. But that's that. I think it can be fun. So we'll see how it works. And there's a wet work event. So basically the one I talked about. It's basically a new tab with your events and everything. But also there's like extra stuff like during the event, players can pick up contracts drawn by eliminate enemies and complete mid-match objectives, ranging from eliminations to looting chests to capturing objectives or staying alive. So basically you get like mini missions while playing the game. So if you kill a player, you can pick up a contract, and I don't know what's gonna be, like a little shiny thing on the floor on his body. You pick it up and you can start like do a little mission like, oh, kill 3 players without dying, or whatever, capture an objective, like mini quests, right? Mini side quests. And I'm guessing you're gonna get XP, you're gonna get something else, or you're gonna get something on top, like whatever reward it will be. It's minuscule reward, but the whole season's, this season's last update is called High Value Target. So basically that's the idea behind it. It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a high value target type of thing. So it makes sense. That's kind of event. That's kind of that the event is. Like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. Could be fun. I hope it's not too obstructive when it comes to like picking up those contracts, all that kind of stuff, but we'll see. Alright, so let's move on to the RedSec update they said. So Casual Battle Royale is coming. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it too much, because if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know how I feel about Casual Battle Royale. I think that Casual Battle Royale should not even exist. But there's loads of people that actually suck at the game, and they need any possible help because they're stupid, unfortunately. Anyway, so Casual Battle Royale is a thing. I hope there's not going to be any fucking challenges for us to do to play Casual Battle Royale. I hope that's not a thing. And I hope it's not going to split the player base too much, because that's what happened in Call of Duty Warzone. As soon as you had Casual Battle Royale, fucking... Sorry for swearing again. It just split the whole player base and just became the most player mode ever, because people just don't want to participate in a wannabe competitive experience. I don't know. Listen, I don't know why you're playing a multiplayer game if you don't want to play against real players. Simple as that. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Anyway, so Casual Battle Royale. Hey, it's a hot take to some of you. You probably hate it. I'm sorry. I don't care. That's how I feel. This is a good change for RedSec. I'm glad they're fucking learning. Again, I'm swearing. You know what? I don't care. It's a good thing. They're learning. I'm glad that they're actually learning. Chest resetting. We're making an update to help address loot scarcity during the middle phase of Battle Royale matches. When second chance is disabled globally in a match, normally armory crates, class armory crates, and tactical armory crates will reset and become lootable again. This means already open crates can repopulate with items during the mid-game, giving players more opportunities to recover, rearm, and stay in the fight. So, Call of Duty Warzone added this feature back many years ago into their resurgence modes, and at one point I think they finally added to Battle Royale like 2 years ago or something like that. So it's a regular thing in their modes, right? Because it just makes sense. Hey, when you survive the gulag, everything's looted. What are you gonna do? Like, you can't find money, you can't find anything to buy your crates, you can't buy plates or what, there's nothing, right? You can't even find a weapon. So they decide to add certain chests on certain parts of the map, relootable. So you open the chest and they close a minute later, right? Or something like that, like, or 30 seconds later, or whatever the time is, right? So basically this is what's gonna happen here. I don't know if it's gonna be like one-time thing or it's gonna be a two-time thing. I hope it's not gonna, I hope it's gonna be like on a timer, right? I hope it's like a minute or two, right? For the chest to close and be lootable again. I hope it's a forever thing. It's not like a one-time thing, or like, oh yeah, it was open, so that means we'll close it again and never open again, never close it again, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. You know what I mean, right? Some people's like, oh, this is weird. No, this is pretty normal in other game modes. Like, I think I'm trying to remember if Fortnite has it. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good quality of life thing for Battle Royale. Makes sense. It's just like, hey, if you're a second chancer, and you land somewhere and there's everything looted but hey, this gives you a chance to fight back in a sense. And it just makes sense. It's just a good quality of life stuff for Battle Royale, for people that need that help. Like, because hey, it's not fun when you land somewhere and everything's looted and you can't find weapon, and then you're gonna get ganked by a squad with their weapons and everything. It's not fun, right? You have to admit that's not fun. So I'm glad chest resetting is a thing now, and it's a good change. I'm glad they're learning. There's a new recon training pad. So basically those abilities that you can equip. So Assault has, this is all RedSec. So Assault has 2 now. I know Engineer only has 1. Support has 1. And Recon now will have 2. And this is basically, this one disables, like, it's like anti-UAV type of thing. And like, it's like a jam or all that kind of stuff. So basically being recon, right? Recon being recon, but recon doing recon things, right? Like scrambling the minimap, destroys UAVs, all that kind of stuff. The handheld jammer gives you recon a more active disruption tool for close range engagement counter gadget play. When activated, it can temporarily disrupt enemy equipment with range, creating openings for your squad to push or reposition. So yeah, it's like someone has a trophy system. I don't know what's that called in the game, but I call it trophy system. The one that stops grenades, we call it trophy system in code, so we always call it trophy system. So if someone has a trophy system in the building, you can use this ability as a recon, and the trophy system is disabled. So now you can throw grenades at it, in the room and kill the guy. That kind of stuff, right? I don't know how useful it will be. It will be useful for countering UAVs, because UAVs are pretty good in RedSec, so I wonder how that's gonna work. So we'll see how it works. So also they mentioned Headhunter mission disabled. Okay, I mentioned that last episode. Battle Royale solos, they say, hey, we're monitoring the feedback, all that kind of stuff. We'll continue monitoring the gameplay, listening to your feedback, and making further adjustments when needed. So they don't say much here, so just like, we're reading feedback. Same with ranked Battle Royale. The current Battle Royale ranked season will end July 14, 1 week before season 3 concludes. Your end of the season rank will help determine your starting rank when season 4 begins, as well as the rewards you'll receive for your performance this season. So we're gonna find it. So they won't reset your rank. They won't reset your rank, which makes sense. You can't, if you're, let's say, a master player, it does not make sense for you to start from bronze again, right? Or rookie. It doesn't make sense. But I would imagine they would put you down a little bit, like okay, so you're master. Well, let's put you back in platinum, right? Like it puts you down, right? You can have a little reset, right? That no one's at the top, which kind of makes sense. I'm guessing that's what they mean because it sounds like, oh yeah, we help determine your starting rank when season 4 begins. Like, of course, it sounds like your rank is gonna be the same, but at the same time, it kind of, I don't know. Like this sentence confused a little bit for me. Like, yeah, we'll determine what rank you are, but are we staying with the same rank as we are, or are you gonna, demote people, by 2 ranks because that's what other rank modes do. So are we gonna do the same? So if you finish gold, are you gonna go back being silver or bronze or whatever the case may be, right? So is that what it was? Anyway, so it ends on 14th of July, and I told Monkey that we need to reach diamond or platinum before that because we barely played ranked because it's quads, fucking quads. So I hope that with season 4 we're gonna have trios with ranked battle royale, and quads is a fucking failed experiment. I want to believe that. We'll see how it goes. If it's gonna be if season 4 ranked mode is gonna be quads again, I'm like, I don't know, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So that's that. So yeah, it better be fucking trios. It better be bloody trios. Okay, then there's portal stuff. Okay, they add the Gyro Brazil, Obliteration, Tactical Obliteration, Squad Deathmatch, TDM, moving platforms, so you can do like a moving platform thing, vehicle impulse function, Operation Metro, so Bellum, 1988, he remade Operation Metro in Portal, and developers helped him to make the map look a bit more cinematic and less flat, because when I don't know if you guys played the Operation Metro remake by this guy on Portal, it's Metro, alright. It's like he has all the stuff that you need for Metro. It looks like Metro, like from Battlefield 3 and 4, right? But visually it looked like absolute potato and garbage. It's like a flat lighting and it just didn't look good. So developers actually helped him and they actually worked on it on the map, and it's now a bit more realistic when it comes to visuals, which is a nice thing, but it's a special thing that they had to work on personally. Developers had to take their time to work on this, because Portal people don't really have the tools to have their own custom lighting in certain situations, in a certain part of the map. So that's that. And that's gonna end for the community update. Let's see what people feel like how people feel about gameplay change. Yeah, I'm just reading how people feel about Netcore. Yeah. Some people love the thermal. You know what? I don't care. Anyway, so that was the community update, and yeah, that's what we can expect for third part of season 3. Do I hate it? Do I love it? I have no opinion. I need more details how the gunplay will work, for what kind of changes they're gonna make, how the recoil will feel, how the gunplay will feel, how everything else will feel. It's just that kind of stuff, right? I'm sorry for fixing my pillow because I'm not comfy right now. So yeah, we'll see how we feel. I need to play the update to get the proper. They can say anything they want in the next update, the community blog or whatever, explaining this stuff, right? I need to play it and feel it for myself before I make any judgment. People, everything they're gonna be saying in the blog post about this is gonna sound very nice. I can already tell. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh wow, this is amazing," blah blah blah. And so of course some people are gonna lose it because like, "Oh, why are you changing gunplay again?" But that kind of brings a how much I've been talking for now? Okay, for 45 minutes. You know what? This kind of perfect transition to the next topic about the gunplay. Why they even putting so much effort to make this into a thing, right? Why they working on the gunplay? It's still, 8 months later after the game came out. Why they're still working on this? So what's the point? So for the last 20 minutes, let's talk about it. So we know that they're doing the gunplay changes. They work on the netcode, and they're adding all this stuff to the game, like server browser, proximity chat, all that kind of stuff, right? Features that supposed to be on day one release. If you ask me, like on launch day, they're supposed to be there. But hey, you know what? Better late than never. So they putting all this effort to make sure the gunplay is, in good condition. It's being worked on. That skill is being rewarded and all that kind of like this. There's a lot of effort happening in the background for this game. Now, why is that? Because some people were thinking, well, they already work on the next game, so what's the point? Now, of course, people will say like, oh yeah, this is for the next game. Well, there's a bigger conversation here entirely, but I'm just gonna say this. If all these features that they work on Battlefield 6 right now is not gonna be for the next game, it's a waste of fucking time. Simple as that. If all the features you're making for Battlefield 6 right now, your server browsers and your gunplay and, your portal changes and whatever the case may be, right? All the stuff that you make for this game is not gonna be in the next freaking Battlefield game whenever that is coming out. I mean, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? So anyway, that's a different topic entirely. But hey, they're doing all this stuff, right? And why? Well, it's because it's already kind of confirmed, not officially, but it's confirmed that Year 2 for Battlefield 6 is coming. It's a thing. It's happening. And I talked on the last episode, just it was a quick mention about it. I was talking about like, okay, so 16 maps minimum. We're getting 16 maps minimum from now on. Like from this point of view, when I'm recording this episode, minimum 16 maps are coming to the game. Minimum. And they have some people went to the labs build and they went through the files and they found code names for like 16 maps, which is great, like for the multiplayer, all that kind of stuff. And these are just multiplayer. This is not talking about RedSec, for example. What's happening with RedSec? Are we getting a new RedSec map? Are we getting something else for RedSec? All that kind of stuff. This is just with 16 maps just for the multiplayer alone. We don't know how many guns or what else is coming with that. Like it's just code names for the maps. So basically, this confirms to us like, hey, Year 2 is happening for Battlefield 6, which is fantastic. And I already said that for like for a couple of weeks now, if not months. You can tell how the UI is designed in Battlefield 6. It literally is kind of designed to be like a multi-year thing. Because why would the stat, like, when you go to your stats page and it says Year 1, Season 3 or something like that, right? Why do you put the Year 1 thing there? Granted, like, you can have Year 2 and have a new game, Battlefield 7 or whatever the next game is next year and still have a Year 2 for Battlefield 6, but I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's realistic. So we're clearly not getting a new game next year, which I'm glad. I'm really glad we're not getting a new game next year because it kind of... I want Battlefield 6 to be alive as long as possible. Keep updating the game as long as possible. Keep adding content to the game as long as possible. And it's good to know that at least we're getting at least minimum 16 maps. Minimum 16 maps for multiplayer alone. That's great. And this is just a multiplayer. Not including ranked mode on top, or RedSec, all that kind of stuff. And of course, people try to come up with some conspiracy theories like, oh, what the code name for the map means. For example, there's MP Canyon, or MP Citadel, or MP Crossing, or MP Albion, all that kind of stuff, right? MP Doe, MP Diablo. It could be, listen, it's just code names, could mean anything. But of course, people have to, it's just for fun, just to theorize, oh, what could it be, right? MP Crossing, and people instantly go like, oh, is this Silent Crossing, right? A remake. And then someone may, well, MP Albion, that's very English and British and all that kind of stuff. And usually they do it for the, British stuff, right? Brits, English maps or whatever the case may be, right? And people are like, oh, what if we get, London-based Operation Metro? And MP Crossing could be like a remake of Sign Crossing, but in London. Sign Crossing remake in London, and then you have London-based underground Operation Metro, and you make like a operations, like it's operations game mode on the Deduce map, because people have been asking for like since Battlefield 1, I guess, since Operations was, I think, like, imagine Battlefield 4 had, like, you have Sign Crossing and Metro together into one, one game mode, all that kind of stuff. Or they were connected somehow, on a map, like, it would be one singular map, right? the ideas like that have been thrown away for many years now, and I like the idea. I would love to see a underground Operation Metro. I will cream because it basically just because I live in London. So for me, it would be really cool. I would love to see that. So it's a funny theory. So I hope that will be true. Like it would be cool. But yeah, I was looking actually at the maps and everything. Like what kind of maps we would like to see for Battlefield 6. And honestly, if you're just talking pure maps, just about maps, I would love to see some Battlefield 2 maps being remade or 2142 maps. You know, those old Refractor Engine maps. Because it will be considered as a new map because those maps are so freaking old. Not Dragon Valley. I don't want Dragon Valley back in Battlefield 6. But pick some map, you know, some Battlefield 2 map or Battlefield 2142 map, and just remake them into modern times to Battlefield 6. You know, and because the maps are so old, they will be considered as new maps anyway. They will not be recognizable from the old maps, other than just some veteran players recognize the layout, and that's kind of it. So they will be considered as new maps. So I think that would be cool. I would personally love to see some Battlefield 1 maps actually being remade, like because it will be so different from everything else. Actually, let me quickly open Battlefield 1 maps. For example, I would like to see, let's say, Lubkov Pass. Anyone remember Lubkov Pass from Battlefield 1 in the Name of the Star DLC? I would love that map to be like a Battlefield 6 map, right? Remake it into modern times, right? That would be so fucking cool, like because Battlefield 1 had the aura when it comes to certain maps, and for example, fighting in a forest, in a snowy forest, all that kind of stuff, that was so fucking cool. It was really cool. It's one of my favorite maps in Battlefield 1. Lubkov Pass was so fucking good. I love that map in Battlefield 1. So I would like to see it remade for Battlefield 6, right? Make it more than like a fight in the forest, all that kind of stuff. And you could do it. If you could do it in Battlefield 1, you can do it in Battlefield 6. You can improve it, all that kind of stuff, and just make it really fun and so on. Like, please. You know, then of course you can, I don't know, let's make Amiens or Amiens. You can remake Onion, or Neville Knights, for example, like, you know, trench warfare, modern trench warfare, like, you know, that can slap really well if done really well. So yeah, I'd love to see some Battlefield 1 maps remade into modern times. That would be so fucking cool. That's my personal opinion. And yeah, I'm sure we can remake, like, we do need a good foresty jungle map, like I already mentioned, Lubkov Pass. If we'd, let's say, go Battlefield 4, why not remake community map, aka Operation Outbreak? So for anyone that doesn't know, back in Battlefield 4 days, DICE asked, hey, we're making a new map, but we want your input. So they did a survey, a questionnaire, whatever, or, you know, concept stuff, like, okay, what kind of map do you guys want to see? People, you know, players came on the survey and asked, oh, we want a jungle map, we want a snowy map, whatever. Jungle map voted as the top voted one. Okay, we're making a jungle map. All right, what kind of layouts do you guys want? So they gave you some layouts, to vote on, and people voted for their favorite layout. Okay, we have a layout, we have a team. Right, let's start with the white box. And they start making a white box. You can join on Battlefield CTE, aka Labs, and you can join them and just play on the white box of the level, see how it works, how you like, what can you improve, and so on. Just, like proof of concept, right? And it basically for the whole year, I think it was like 6-7 months. I don't remember how long was it, but it was basically called the community test project. Was it community test project? No, community map project. That's how it was called. And we were making a map from scratch, and everyone was involved. And it was a really nice, positive experience for Battlefield 4 back then. If we were remaking Battlefield 4 maps, I would love to have Operation Outbreak being back for Battlefield 6. Again, a very jungly map, really, really good map, because it was made with the community and all the feedback and everything. It's an amazing map. Operation Outbreak it's really amazing map, and I love that map. I would love to see it again in Battlefield 6. My personal opinion. But if we're not remaking maps, can we have a community project happening for Battlefield 6? That would be so cool. Like, hey guys, let's do the same thing. Let's make a community map. What kind of map you guys want to see? What do you like? What you want to see? Like, do you want a jungle map? Do you want a water map? Or do you want like a snowy map? Do you want an urban map? And they will explain, like, hey, okay, we can't really make an urban map because limitations. I'm like, oh, cool. So, that kind of stuff, right? I would love to have a community project for Battlefield 6 happening for year 2. That would be really great. I would love that. And I would love to see Operation Outbreak for that. But yeah, I'm glad we're getting more maps, we're getting more content. Battlefield 6 is alive and kicking, and with new updates coming this year, apparently Season 5 is going to be really big and outrageous for Battlefield 6 standards. So I'm really looking forward to that, and they're going to add, proximity chat, they're going to have ranked mode for multiplayer too. And that's just only multiplayer, right? Like, of course, you're going to get more weapons, and you're going to get quality stuff. You're going to get stat page, a redesigned stat page, server browser, of course, all that kind of stuff, right? Stuff like that is going to be added into the game with this game for this year. And Season 5 looks like it's going to be a monster season. Now, doesn't mean it's going to be a good season, because there might be some stuff that is going to be freaking broken, because it seems like Season 5 is going to be like that 1 year update, right? All the tiny updates you got, like with Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? That's nothing. Season 5 just like, yeah, big boy update just there for you to, consume. My worry, where is this gonna be? The update is gonna be so freaking huge, it might break some stuff, but we will see. Hopefully not. That being said, Season 5 looks like it's gonna be an amazing update. And when it comes to like year 2, after Season 5, we can start, okay, we have the foundation right for the game. We have all the stuff ready, we've done all the hard work with Season 5, for Battlefield 6. Year 2, for Battlefield 6, we can start making something very unique, something very different, something that people just really want, whatever the case may be, right? Something goofy in a good way, something experimental, just like, because we have the foundation now, so that means we can do as crazy stuff as we want, and maybe like something interesting, right? So make it fun and so on. And I hope we will get year 3 too, but that's a different story for another day. Let's focus on the year 1 and year 2. But yeah, as soon as we're done with Season 5, we have the foundation to do something amazing now. Something creative, something unique, and so on. And then you can like start pushing it. Like, because Modern Warfare will be out by then, and GTA will be out by then. At this point, like, okay, let's make something unique that just will bring people back to the game. And hopefully year 2 is going to be fucking fantastic. Hopefully. My, of course, biggest worry is that what they're going to do with RedSec. Like, people's like, oh, no, he's going to talk about RedSec. But here's the thing. I love RedSec. RedSec is such a amazing game mode. I think it's just very undercooked for many different reasons. And I don't think it gets the love it's supposed to be getting. I don't think I don't think it's getting the love it deserves. So, I'm curious what they're going to do with RedSec for Season 5. And beyond Season 5, like for year 2. So are we getting a new map? Are we getting some good changes? Are we finally gonna have solo, duos, and trios as ranked, and then we have quads? I would love to see like more LTMs, for example, for RedSec. I would love to see more like experimental modes for for all that kind of stuff. Also, I did mention this on my other podcast that I do for Call of Duty, Lockdown Player. I mentioned that, like, how I feel about Modern Warfare's DMZ. I don't care about extraction shoes. Let me tell you right now, I don't care about extraction shoes. I don't play them. I try to, enjoy them as much as possible, but I'm not the audience. When it comes to extraction shoes, I just don't find the entertainment in them, and I don't see the end goal. But Fortnite, for example, just recently added extraction elements into their BR mode. So now we have in Fortnite a thing called sprites, and there's basically like little beings, little cute shits that buff your character in some shape or form. Like, oh yeah, you can do more pickaxe damage. Oh, you get a random item every level. You can heal yourself in water or whatever the case may be, or stuff like that, right? Like, it gives you like a buff to your character, and it's still a battle royale game. So you spawn in the game. You go around, you can bring your sprite. So you land, let's say you're a fresh new player. You land, you take a sprite, you extract that sprite, before you die or the game ends, and you can use that sprite for the next game, and you can level up that sprite and so on. But if you die with that sprite equipped on you, you're gonna lose that sprite. And it's basically like, a typical extraction shooter, right? If you bring good gear into the game and you die and you lose your gear. It's kind of the same thing here. But this is not an extraction shooter. Fortnite is not an extraction shooter. It's still a battle royale game. The circle is shrinking, people are dying, and there's gonna be a last man standing or last group standing, whatever the case may be, right? Whatever mode you play in, solos, duos, whatever. It's gonna be a last man standing type of thing. You still have to win the game, right? But during that, you have extraction elements happening in the game. And that to me kind of, I'm like, okay, that's a type of extraction shooter I can go behind with. I can actually enjoy this because it brings some stakes. You can extract stuff. You don't have to interact with the system, of course. You still can just do your own thing and win the game. But you still, like, if you want to complete like certain challenges and all that kind of stuff, yeah, you kind of need to interact with, the extraction and all that kind of stuff, right? And you build up your collection of sprites, that do many things, and you get rewards and all that kind of stuff, right? So extraction is encouraged. So the thing is, the way it works, like, you don't extract with the sprite, you extract just the sprites, right? You just extract your equipment back to the lobby while you still continue to play the BR game, try to win the game, right? So that was such a revolutionary thing in Fortnite in my mind. I think it's such a really good change that kind of flips the extraction thing back on its head. Like, it just kind of flips the script a little bit. And the reason I'm talking about is, like, I would love to see something in RedSec like that. I would love to see in RedSec, it's still a battle royale game. I don't want RedSec to have a extraction mode. I don't think I would enjoy that a lot at all. I would not enjoy that. But if you add to the battle royale some sort of extraction, method or whatever, like, oh yeah, you can extract something from this game and still play the game to try to win, get your dub, that adds another layer of awesome stuff. Just adds another layer of depth to the game, and it's one of those things that people of any skill level could engage, right? Because when you play RedSec, for example, and you have these kind of extraction elements like Fortnite, for example, if RedSec had those elements, suddenly, no matter of your skill level, you can engage with the system, and like, yeah, you might not survive the game and not win the game, but that's fine. But you did something well with your time, and you extracted something, you achieved something, you did something, and you can bring whatever that buff to the next game, whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be a buff, whatever, but something that is meaningful to extract, right? And another day is still a battle royale game. You extract, okay, you extract your stuff, okay, now you can relax and try to win the game. I can't believe how well that works in Fortnite right now. I personally, like, sure, it gets overwhelming a little bit in certain cases, but I think that's a really cool addition to the Fortnite formula. And instead of like making Fortnite into an extraction shooter, it's still a battle royale game, but it just makes it more interesting in game. It kind of brings more stakes to the actual battle royale game, and I really, really, really like that. So I kind of like to see that kind of changes happening in RedSec for year 2. Keep RedSec. RedSec is a fucking swearing again. It's a fantastic thing. RedSec is really fantastic, and I love to have updates like that to RedSec. And I'm really curious what they're gonna do for RedSec for this, with Season 5. Season 5 is gonna be like that 1-year anniversary for the game that is the most important update, just like the big boy that changes the game, adds everything where we always want it in. Of course, periodically, it's not gonna be everything at once. But I'm like, it's gonna be adding a lot of stuff. So from what I understand from Season 5, we're gonna be getting 3 new maps, and we're still gonna get the remakes, the redesigns of Blackwell Fields, and New Sobek City. So that's technically 5 maps. Season 5 will have 5 maps. That is insane. That's actually insane. So basically, a map every month, and that's listen. I don't care what you think about the Battlefield 6 live service, but Battlefield 6 live service is good. It is compared to everything else we've been getting with other games and so on, and compared to other previous games, like previous Battlefield games, Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 5, right, or Battlefield 1. Listen, Battlefield 6 is an amazing live service comparing to everything else. Like compared to what we had before, this is night and day difference. Battlefield 6 is just like above everyone else, like in the Battlefield franchise. I'm not talking about other games, but when it comes to that, just purely in a vacuum, compared to other Battlefield games, Battlefield 6 live service is up there. Like, it's just night and day difference. So I'm really looking forward to year 2. Of course, we have to focus on year 1 first. Let's see how season 5 will go, and season 4, and so on. But as soon as we're done with the foundation, with the game, for Battlefield 6, we have gunplay on point. We have the maps on point. You know, we have RedSec maybe on point. I don't think we're gonna get a new map for RedSec. Also, if we're getting a new map, it would be cool to have a rotation of RedSec maps, but I don't think that's happening. Also, the way they talk about, for example, Gauntlet, I don't think Gauntlet is going to be getting any support anytime soon. But Battle Royale is definitely getting more support than Gauntlet. I think it's because more players are playing Battle Royale for obvious reasons, and it's more engaging. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that I hope they do. I hope they'll do something for RedSec really big for season 5, and after that we can start doing some experimental stuff for year 2. I don't know. I think year 2 will slap like a truck in a good way, assuming everything else goes according to plan, hopefully. So yeah, I would love to see some good updates. But yeah, I'm looking forward to all of it that's happening in the future. The future for Battlefield 6 looks really, really bright, like really bright. And listen, I can't complain, honestly. I really can't complain. I really enjoy everything. Not everything I've been seeing. Like I said, RedSec needs a bit more love. It's not getting the love it deserves. But when it comes to multiplayer, I think it's on the right. Like so far, it's on the right track. Even when RedSec is getting small updates there and there, it still puts us on the right track. At least those updates mean something good, some sort of improvement, some sort of quality of life thing that just makes the game more enjoyable in the long term. They're not the big updates like that you wish Battlefield RedSec would have, but hey, step by step. So, yeah, I think Battlefield 6 future looks really bright. Year 2 will be amazing, I think, as long as everything goes well this year. But so far, I think they've been nailing it. Like, listen, Season 2 was good. Sure, it had some problems, of course, don't get me wrong. Season 3 is the same thing. It has some problems, but it's goal mode is fantastic. Cairo is good. All the new maps they've been adding have been really good. The new weapons, sure, it's weapons. Just who cares? They try to be as unique as possible, but at one point, I think they'll have to stop adding weapons into the game, because at one point, like, how many weapons we can have that I just don't feel the same, right? So that's the biggest problem. Like, I don't want the weapons to feel the same just because, oh, do I want 50 weapons? No, I don't want 50 weapons. Why the fuck I want 50 weapons, right? I don't want that. So I just hope, I'd rather focus, like, make the weapons be unique from each other in some shape or form than have 50 weapons that basically just feel the same. I don't want that. I just don't. I hope they realize that adding weapons is not the best content ever. I just like, hey, add more modes, add more maps, add something behind the game, outside the game, right? Sorry, like something that changes the gameplay in the long run, like challenges, or whatever the case may be, right? Like events, like they're already adding events and so on, like something, right? So that's that. I think, like I said, Battlefield 6 has a really promising future. As long as they don't slip and fall somewhere, I think we're on a good track. Now, of course, Modern Warfare 4 and GTA will have some sort of effect on them for obvious reasons, but that's fine. That's obvious. That's just obvious. But as soon as that, hype train is gonna relax and we're back to normal, we can go back to Battlefield, and they've been adding stuff, more maps and more content and everything. Just like, oh yeah, you have ranked multiplayer, you have ranked RedSec, there's trios. RedSec may be getting a new map. Then you have multiplayer maps, just new maps getting added, new modes and everything. Just it's fantastic. Like I can't say more than that. It's like the future looks really bright. Will they succeed achieving their future? We'll see. We'll see how let's see if they're gonna stumble somewhere on the way there. We will see. But other than that, yeah, I am looking forward to year 2. Because year 1 so far is looking promising, and I can imagine year 2 can only get better from here. So that's that. Okay, so I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, so let's end the conversation here. So, first and foremost, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for listening to my ramblings for an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you our Patreon supporters. Check our Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. That's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Check out, all the live streams, all the extra content, all the extra episodes, all that kind of stuff. Everything's there for you to be consumed and used and everything. We believe we're making some amazing content. $2 or $5, your support means everything to us. It helps us to improve the show. It helps us to keep going forward. It helps us being consistent. So check out. Thank you guys for join as a free member at least. It's fine, guys. Just join as a free member. Use a free trial. It's there for a reason. I believe we have good enough content for you to stay long term. So that's that. And hey, we have loads of people that stay there for almost a year at this point now. So thank you guys for everything, because we care about our supporters. So thank you guys for everything. And of course, Q&A. So until the 1st of August, keep asking those questions. Keep sending those, whatever the case may be on your mind. Use the Google Docs document in the description. Type a question. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Send us questions. You have it until the 1st of August, and we'll answer as many questions as possible. And you can ask anyone. You can ask me, you can ask Ray, you can ask Andre, and I'll try to bring them on the podcast. If they're not on the podcast, I'll make sure they answer the question, and I will read out the answer. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See you on the battlefield.